remember.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.
What if you couldn't feel pain?
Hey, there we go.
Good as new.
You're a superhero.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We need a hostage.
Sherry, you gotta be careful, dude.
Last chance. Tell me where she is.
You're not Wolverine.
I just want to save Sherry. I'm not going to stop.
Please stay alive.
I will stay alive, I promise.
Novocaine in cinemas now.
In 1851, during a regatta, Queen Victoria asked, "Who goes first?" To which she was answered, "America, Your Majesty." And second, the Queen asked, "Majesty, there is no second."
There's no second!
There's no second.
There is no second! That's the answer!
There's no second.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy. The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts now!
How do you like it? So aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. The corner knockdown. Still the undisputed champion of the world. Weigh in, live on DAZN.
It's a new dawn here at DAZN as Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren and Queensbury Promotions join the DAZN squad. Big main event as well, Joe Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic. It's weigh-in time, let's make it official.
47 years of promoting boxing. What a ride it's been. I was 23 years old at the time. I got an invite from the Boxing Board of Control to take a license out. I've never been afraid about shaking things up and working with new media.
This is a bit of a dream come true.
Pay-per-view, satellite TV.
Very proud of Amir, what he done was fantastic.
Bringing shows in from America Live. I've been lucky enough to promote some of the biggest names in boxing.
I'd like to thank Mr. Frank Warren for having me over here.
I'm as competitive as my fighters, and I fight for my fighters. I'm always looking for the next challenge, and I know there's one there now.
Who would have thought this 3 years ago, eh? Who would have thought this? Queensbury and DAZN. We started to get whispers and rumours a couple of years ago, and now it is official. Big main event coming your way on Saturday. We're going to make it all official today at the weigh-ins, and it means we get to work with this man, Carl Frampton. I'm used to you. You can go away from it. Carl,
Thanks, boys.
Finally,
Thanks,
it's happening.
I've got a new golf buddy.
Oh, new golf buddy as well.
I can't play golf, that's the only problem. But no, look, I'm buzzing to be here. This is the home of boxing. All the big fights are on this platform, and it's the only thing I know how to talk about at any sort of length and depth, so I'm delighted to be here.
Now look, it's great for fight fans as well, and that's the most important, right? The fight fans who've been wanting to see Queensbury on DAZN. We got a little teaser when Matchroom and Queensbury did that 5 versus 5, and now no more teasers. This is now the real thing.
Look, it's only going to be a positive for the sport, not just having two of the leading promoters in this country, but in the world of boxing, working together. The shows are going to be massive. The global home of boxing, the future is very bright.
Yeah, the future is bright. The future's bright for a lot of fighters on this card as well. The main event is Joe Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic. It was supposed to be Joe Joyce versus Dillian White. Carl, a lot of pressure on Joe here, a lot of pressure.
Yeah, so much pressure. I think it's a must-win for both guys, to be honest, but certainly Joe. If Joe loses here, his career is probably over. Probably a harder fight than the original fight against Dillian White. Different type of fighter, but Hrgovic is very, very accurate, very fast. but he does fade in the second half of the fight. So I imagine the plan for Joe is to put it on him, hopefully get into the second half and then put it on him, but easier said than done.
What a strange sort of few years it's been for Joe, right? There was a time when you almost felt like he was on the cusp of the world title shot. Remember people were talking about Joe versus Deontay Wilder as an example. And all of a sudden, a couple of defeats, bad ones to Zhili Zhang, and then the Chisora one, and now he's almost fighting for his right to stay at the top table in boxing.
Absolutely, 100%. 39 years old, yeah, you know, this is very, very important. He must win this fight. Same would be said for Filip Hrgovic. They're two wounded animals. They need to bounce back. They need a win. And we've seen, you know, Daniel Dubois, prime example. You just get that one win like he did against Miller and you're back on track. So for both these guys to get that win so important. And I love the must win of this scenario, because what that does is that produces entertainment, excitement, because it's so important to get their careers, like I say,
so
back
much
online.
jeopardy, so much jeopardy in the lane for
exactly.
both guys that someone has to win.
Punch resistance has been one of the things that I've seen sort of everywhere in the build-up to this fight for Joe Joyce, right? Before, you always felt like he could walk through a brick wall. We're now starting to see him feel the effects of those punches. Does that go? Can you somehow stop the rot, if you so to speak?
Yeah, I think it does go. I think the punch resistance literally gets punched out of you. And previous to Joe's kind of fight, the first fight was Zhang. I thought he was indestructible. I just think you couldn't knock this guy out.
We all did.
But I think it's almost like if you have it as a gauge, every time you get hit, it just drops down a little bit. I think anyway. Now I'm not a doctor or anything, but that's my belief. And we've seen Joe become somewhat more vulnerable than what he was a few years ago. So I mean, it's going to be difficult for Joe. He doesn't have the best defensive skills. He gets hit quite a lot. And if you don't have your punch resistance, what do you do?
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Joe. But look, again, it's a fantastic main event. Two guys that whoever wins goes, whoever loses, it's difficult. Someone right at the start of their career, we're all excited to see, is Delicious Ori. We could have lost him to WWE. We got him back. And this guy's a specimen of a man. He just walked past me. One of the biggest heavyweights I've seen as well. Looks the part, talks the part. How good is it to have Delicious with us?
I'm really excited about this journey. He ticks boxes. He's a great fighter. He has that pedigree that we're fully aware of. He's a likeable guy. He's got great support. It's about just getting things right now. Being managed correctly, which we know Frank Warren and the rest of the guys do very, very well. But like I say, he's a great addition to what is already a great domestic heavyweight scene.
Yeah, it's a great co-main event as well. I think it's almost turned into the people's main event. David Adelaide is just behind us. They've kept Jimmy TKV over there, which is good. But it kicked off at the press conference, and it's been building between those two.
Yeah, it did, and no doubt someone will try their best for it not to kick off again today, but I imagine something will happen. But it's two guys who, obviously, there's a little bit of needle.
Yeah.
Clearly don't like each other, but want to win. And again, this is what we want to see in boxing, is we want to see guys putting it all on the line.
And the strange thing about this is they know each other. You know, they're former sparring partners, but this is legit, this is real. TKV really was annoyed, and we see what happened after that. So this is kind of unofficially the top of the bill now.
Yeah, loads more to speak about this fight card, but the fighters are waiting. This is a packed weigh-in as well, as is Thomas Triber. So let's throw it to your MC to get the show on the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official weigh-in for Heavy Impact. A great night of championship boxing tomorrow from Co-op Live in Manchester, England. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, along with their great sponsors. Riyadh Season, 32 Red, That Prize Guy, and Unibet. A big thanks to those great sponsors. It will be shown live worldwide on DAZN, and tickets can be purchased through Ticketmaster.co.uk. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the weigh-in process started. Our first two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round bantamweight contest. We will first welcome to the scale from Batley, England, a veteran of 45 professional bouts. Here is Nabil Ahmed. 117.3 for Nabil Ahmed. Now we welcome to the scale from Liverpool, England. He had a stellar amateur career, becoming a two-time national champion, and tomorrow night, making his professional boxing debut. Let's welcome Louis Zito. 117.5 for Louis Zito. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round bantamweight contest. Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round featherweight contest. Let's first welcome to the scale, coming to us from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. His professional record, 6 wins, 11 defeats, 5 draws, 2 wins by knockout. Here is Alexander Morales. 128.4 for Alexander Morales. Now we welcome to the scale from right here, Manchester, England, undefeated with 2 victories. Here is Alfie Middlemiss. 127.2 for the undefeated Alfie Middlemiss. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round featherweight contest. Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round featherweight contest. We will first welcome to the scale, coming to us from Carue, Buenos Aires, Argentina. He has 20 professional bouts to his credit. Let's welcome Rodrigo Matias Areco. 129.6 for Rodrigo Matias Areco. Now we welcome to the scale from Morecambe, England, undefeated with 7 wins. 4 of those 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Nelson, the sexy one, Burchell. 127.11 for Nelson, the sexy one, Burchell.
There. Face front. That's it. Why is that music so loud?
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round featherweight contest. Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 8-round super featherweight contest. We will first welcome, coming to us from Lima, Callao, Peru. He brings a professional record of 18 wins, 16 defeats, 1 draw, 5 wins, coming by way of knockout. Here is Cesar Ignacio Paredes. 132.5 for Cesar Ignacio Paredes. Now we welcome to the scale from Southampton, Hampshire, England, undefeated with 13 wins. 7 of his 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Sugar Boy Roy, Royston Barney Smith. 132.9 for the undefeated Sugar Boy Roy, Royston Barney Smith. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 8-round super featherweight contest.
Okay, so that's almost half of the weigh-ins done. It's good to see some. I always find it good to see some of the young fighters unbeaten get their opportunities as well on these big cards. Do you almost get lost in it, or is it just good to be on a big card?
No, I think it's good for the exposure for the kids. There's kids starting off. There's Jimmy Moore's got a young fighter who's, I think, making his debut tonight, so a big occasion for him. And then you've got someone like Royston Barney Smith, who's well used to being involved in big cards, but maybe not the most recognisable name. But I think while you're here, it's good to be a part of something big.
Yeah, it must be good to soak it up, isn't it? I mean, again, these are 6-rounders, 4-rounders, 8-rounders, just learning your trade slowly but surely.
Yeah, and it's a great place to do it on a big card like this. Someone on there who's just waiting, Nelson Birchall, really good amateur. He buzzes, he thrives when he's in this sort of environment, and that's what you want as a young fighter. This is what you sort of strive towards, being on the top of the bill on these mammoth cards. So yeah, really, really good opportunity for all the young lads on it.
You mentioned Birchall there. Obviously his younger brother Leighton Birchall just to the left of us here, and he's exciting. We saw him at Haringey Cup a couple of times, and me and Darren both said off air, like, if we're not talking about him in a couple of years, he's done something wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all the talent in the world. Three brothers, Nelson flying the flag tomorrow night, but Leighton, yeah, he's one to watch. He's a future potential superstar.
Indeed. All right, let's show you the fight card that's coming your way this Saturday. Obviously, look, great undercard, but this is the main portion of the card. Khalil Majid takes on Alex Murphy. Good fight there. It's not a cruiserweight fight, I can tell you that now. Both guys unbeaten. Delicious Ori making his pro debut takes on Milos Veletic. Jack Rafferty versus Corey O'Regan. I think Jack Rafferty is going under the radar. I think he's one of the best 140-pounders in the country. Not far behind the likes of Dalton Smith and the rest. David Adelaide versus Jimmy TKV. The main event, the people's main event, they're calling it, and the real main event, Joe Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic. It's a tough one. It's such a hard one to pick, that is, you know.
It really is. I mean, it's so important. I love the card. I really do. Yeah, Rafferty O'Regan. It's a brilliant fight. It really is. Big step up for O'Regan.
Big step up.
Only completed 8 rounds once. Only fought 8 rounds once. But they're ready. I was talking to Matt Macklin, who sort of represents him, and he said, look, he's ready. He's ready for this opportunity. Let's go and see how good he is.
Rafferty's an interesting one, isn't it? 29 years of age, Rafferty. I feel like everyone talks about Adam Azim and Dalton Smith, and rightly so. And Jack Cattrall's obviously a couple of levels above. But Rafferty, he's going under the radar.
Absolutely. Has one on the radar. He's a good fighter, a good solid pro. People like to watch him. He's got an exciting style as well, which is important. But you've got kind of Dalton Smith and Adam Azim, who kind of be seen as the cream of the crop in that division in the UK. But keep an eye on Jack Rafferty. I think a kid can fight.
Indeed. Or you can hear Thomas Tribe is picked up again. Let's go back to the wings.
Professional record of 8 wins, 4 defeats. 3 of those 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Miguel Angel Scaringi. $143.11 for Miguel Angel Scaringi. Now we welcome to the scale from Portsmouth, Hampshire, England. His professional record, 16 wins, just 1 defeat. 12 of those 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Mark Chamberlain. $143.11 for Mark Chamberlain. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 8-round super lightweight contest. Closer. Well done, boys. Well done. Well done, lad. Our next 2 fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 10-round super lightweight contest. We will first welcome to the scale from Salford, England, undefeated with 13 wins. Here is Super Alex Murphy.
Obviously, you guys probably saw, I said a cruiserweight. It is a super lightweight contest.
139.13. 14.
A lot of good super
for the
lightweights. These two unbeaten, Carl.
Super.
Yep, say it again,
These two unbeaten. There's a lot of good super lightweights.
Yeah, there
These
is.
two
I mean,
unbeaten.
there's a lot of guys in even in the UK.
Now we welcome
we
to
mentioned
the
a few there in
from Bolton,
Adam Azim
England.
and
He
Dalton
had a
Smith.
stellar amateur
You've also got Jack
career,
Rafferty who's on this
becoming a
card too. But
three-time
these kids are good
national
unbeaten prospects.
champion, now
But it'll be kind of
undefeated as a
be interesting to see what happens here on the
professional
night.
with 14 wins,
Someone
4 wins,
won't have
coming by
an undefeated
way of
record anymore
knockout.
after this
Here
one. But
is Khalil.
Khalil's
the
not a bad
real
fighter.
deal
I don't really know too much
Wahid.
about the opponent, but so I can't really comment too much on the fight, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, one thing Khalil does have though, Darren, is Buddy McGirt in his corner.
Yes.
And I guess if you got Buddy McGirt, almost by default, you have to be pretty good, don't you?
Yeah, it's not bad at all. What advice? Someone to help steer you in the right direction moving forward. He's been there and done it. Very good fighter, as Cole said, is Majid. And Alex Murphy, look, he doesn't have a stoppage on his record, which surprises me. Very aggressive on the front foot. He's a natural counterpuncher, but he does it whilst coming forward. So I don't think it's going to be long until we see the best of Murphy. But this is a step up for the young man.
Yeah, big step up for both. Again, Khalil Majid, a lot of people talking about him. Again, I mentioned the fact he is with Buddy McGirt, and he wants to take that next step, really. And let's see if he can get past Murphy. Should be interesting. Did you ever take anything from face-offs? Everyone says whoever looks away first has lost. Did you ever take anything away?
I never really looked into that too much, but there was once I had one with Kiko Martinez the second time I fought him, and there's a photograph, and we've got our heads on each other's head, but he's looking at the floor. And once I seen that photograph, I kind of thought, I've got him here. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Well, I'm here with Super Alex Murphy. That was quite a tense little face-off there. What did you think of that?
Yeah, well, he didn't want to look away first. I didn't want to look away first, but in the end he did, so happy days.
Someone had to look away first. Listen, you got the Superman pants on. We saw all of that. Is it going to be a super performance tomorrow night?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I want to do, put on a good performance and just show everyone what I can do.
Go well, Alex Murphy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Super Alex Murphy. Let's go across now and speak to his opponent tomorrow evening, Khalil Majid. And Khalil, it feels like tomorrow night is the chance for you to really change your life. All that work, tomorrow night, this is it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've got over 1,000 people coming tomorrow, so I'm doing it all for them.
You didn't want to look away. He didn't want to look away. Can you take anything from that?
It's a stare off, it's a fight. We're going to fight tomorrow, and that's what matters.
Prediction?
A win.
Khalil Majid, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Thomas.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 10-round cruiserweight contest. We will first welcome to the scale, coming to us from Valdivia, Chile. He brings a professional record of 12 wins, 3 defeats, 7 of those 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Gerardo Mellado. $196.2 for Gerardo Mellado. Now we will welcome to the scale a native of Albania, now fighting out of Oberkirch, Germany. His professional record, 19 wins, just 1 defeat, 8 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the current IBF international champion. Let's welcome Jürgen Uldedai. $199.1 for Jürgen Uldedai.
Don Charles starting to put a nice little stable together. It isn't just Daniel Dubois. He's obviously got Jürgen here, who's got a couple of good wins on the resume. One that stands out is Stephen Ward. A lot of people think this guy could be the real deal. Just the 1 defeat as well, 19 wins. And that's solid. In the cruiserweight division, we know one of the best divisions in boxing right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's red hot, the cruiserweight division. This guy, he looks the part anyway. The opponent maybe not as body beautiful as he is, but if you want to pick a winner on looks, I think we know which one we're picking.
100%. Yeah, physically very impressive. We'll see how he gets on tomorrow. Again, cruiserweight division's an open division right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow it will be a battle of the undefeated. Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the Commonwealth Super Lightweight Championship. We will first welcome the challenger coming to us from Leeds, Yorkshire, England. He brings an undefeated record with 14 wins, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Corey O'Regan. 139.1 for the undefeated challenger, Corey O'Regan. And now let's welcome the defending champion from Oldham, England. He is undefeated with 25 wins, 16 of those 25 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the current British and WBC International Silver Champion, and tomorrow night, the reigning and defending Commonwealth Champion, Jack the Demolition Man Rafferty. 139.12 for Jack the Demolition Man Rafferty.
Frank has such a big stable that sometimes fighters can get lost in that stable, and I always feel like it's now a full-on promotion to everyone, to get everyone to know who Jack Rafferty is.
Yeah. Go on, Darn.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm a fan. I think he's a very good fighter. He's no nonsense. He's in your face. He's aggressive, and he looks to close the show in style. Had a really tricky fight with Henry Turner, who was a southpaw, and there were some early rounds there where he may have lost. And Corey O'Regan's a very, very good slippery southpaw, if you like. But in that fight against Turner, he got the job done.
Yeah.
He worked the body really well. He slowed him down and got to those later rounds. I think it was round 9 and got the job done. This is a big step up for O'Regan, though. Only done 8 round 1, Cole.
So Jack Rafferty, he's from the same gym as Terry Flanagan. And you can picture Terry Flanagan, high fight, high out push, marching forward, trying to kind of outwork the opponents, and that's what we get from Jack Rafferty. But he's tough, and I do think he's a fighter that probably doesn't get the credit he deserves.
And he's got all the hardware to show how successful he's been so far, but obviously he wants to take that next step, and I feel like if he comes through this one, there is something big planned for him in the back end of 2025. Again, look, I know we've talked about Dalton Smith and Adam Azim. He's not too far from both of those
I
guys.
don't think so. I don't think so at all. He's full of confidence right now, so yeah, let's see what he does.
A step up in weight, a step up in level. Tell us why you feel you're ready to walk away with the Commonwealth title.
You'll see why. Tomorrow night you'll see exactly why. Self-belief, that's what it is. A big set of balls and self-belief. I think that's the opportunity I needed, so I've been gifted it in a way. I had to wait above, but it is what it is.
Go well, Corey O'Regan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Corey O'Regan. Let's hear now from his opponent, Jack Rafferty. And Jack, I mean, so many years on the small halls. You're on the big stage now, my friend, but you've got a very, very worthy, hungry challenger.
Oh, I've got a tricky opponent tomorrow. I know what he's about. I know what his team is. I know what he is. But I know what I can do. It's going to be a short-term job, and I'm excited to put a show on the first Stone Show.
Let's hear it for Jack Rafferty, ladies and gentlemen.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round light heavyweight contest. We will first welcome to the scale from London, England. He is a veteran of 70 professional bouts. Here is Robbie, the Camden Caretaker Chapman. 170.5 for Robbie, the Camden caretaker, Chapman. Now we welcome to the scale a native of Ghana, now fighting out of Congleton, Cheshire, England, a stellar amateur, becoming a 3-time national champion, and now tomorrow making his professional boxing debut. Here is Rambo Ramton Musa. 168.2 for Rambo Ramton Musa. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round light heavyweight contest.
Yeah, mate. That'll do, boys. We're done.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round heavyweight contest. Let's first welcome to the scale, coming to us from Sarajevo, Bosnia. He brings a record of 3 wins, 7 defeats. One of those 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Milos Veletic. $293.8 for Milos Veletic. And now we welcome to the scale from Wolverhampton, England. He had a stellar amateur career, proudly representing Great Britain in the 2024 Olympics. And now tomorrow, he makes his highly anticipated professional boxing debut. Let's welcome Delicious Uri. $245.9 for Delicious Uri.
Yeah, he's in great shape. he's in fantastic shape. That's 245 pounds, and there's not an ounce of fat on him. Do you guys remember your debut?
Just about.
Go back to the memory
I
bank.
certainly didn't look like him, that's for sure. But he'd be buzzing to get his journey underway. Like I say, ticks a lot of boxes, and we're in for a hell of a ride.
Yeah, a lot of people are excited about him. Obviously, look, as I said, Queensbury have all the heavyweights, so he's always going to get good matchups.
He's done a good stable.
A very good stable.
I mean, and then there's fights there for him. But I'm telling you now, there's a couple of guys just about to come on the stage here, and David Adelaide and TKB. Delicious Uri, I know that he's a very ambitious guy. Give it 2 or 3 fights, he'll already be starting to look at them sort of opponents. This is
so already potentially looking at a British title fight in a couple of fights.
Very, very soon. Yeah. I think so. Obviously, it's about developing an engine and a tank, but the kid has high ambitions.
I mean, we've got one more sleep until that big professional debut. What are the thoughts? What are the feelings? What are the emotions right now?
I'm excited. That's all I can say. First ever presser, first ever weigh-in. What can I say? This is different. You know, I'm very much to just getting the draw done, weighing in, and just going to fight. But yeah, this is good. This is fun.
Best of luck to you tomorrow evening. Let's hear it for Delicious Uri. Back to Thomas Treiber.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest, and it will be for the vacant British Heavyweight Championship. Let's first welcome to the scale from Tottenham, London, England. His professional record, 8 wins, just 1 defeat. 5 of those 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the current IBO champion, Jamie TKV Shakiva. 254.9 for Jamie TKV Shakiva. And now we welcome to the scale from Ladbroke Grove, London, England. His professional record, 13 wins, just 1 defeat. 12 of those 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former WBO European and the current English champion, Big D, David Adelaide. $239.13 for Big D, David Adelaide.
Yeah, Jimmy TKV with a slight weight advantage. We kind of all expected it. This has become, Carl, the people's main event. TKV just a 1 defeat. That was on cuts. And obviously Adelaide got stopped by Wardley. This should be a good one, this.
Yeah, both good fighters. I think both kind of wear their heart in their sleeve and are aggressive fighters, kind of seeking to destroy. I've seen a lot more of David Adelaide. And I like what I see about David. I think that he tries to bang you out. That's what we want to see as a heavyweight fighter. But this is an interesting fight. But at this stage, you gotta have Adelaide as the favourite.
Yeah, coming off that Solomon Dacres first round destruction, obviously now with Adam Booth as well. He's liking that link up with Adam.
Yeah, he is. And full of confidence. We see that. I think temperament is going to play a massive, massive part in this contest. Who can hold it together? Because as we've seen, they don't like each other. There's bad blood. And it's about holding it together so you can execute your game plan as well as you can possibly do so. But this is one not to blink.
I don't think I've ever seen that much security on a small stage like that.
No, I know.
I was like, is it reinforced? Have we got something down there?
It was civil enough in the end, wasn't it?
I hope we're going to hear from both. Yeah, okay, we are. I can see Dev with Jimmy TKV. Let's throw it to Dev. He's with Jimmy TKV on stage.
Okay, here with Jamie TKV. Now, the build-up has been feisty. Has this one become a little bit personal?
Yeah, it has. As you saw yesterday and earlier on in the week, it got very personal, and we're going to settle it tomorrow.
You said that you think he's a bit scared. Now, you've just gone face-to-face with him. Did you see that then?
That's a scared man. I saw a scared man, again.
What's your prediction, Jamie?
Jamie, TKV, TKO. Let's go.
Okay, you heard it here first. TKV, TKO. Let's hear it for Jamie TKV. And now let's speak to Big D, David Adelaide. He said that he saw fear in your eyes, David.
Yeah, I'm frightened. I'm frightened.
What are you thinking? You've gone face-to-face. The build-up's been pretty feisty. You don't look particularly frightened to me. What are you thinking about your opponent and the way he's been acting?
Frightening, man. He said I'm scared. I'm scared. We've got 24 hours, right?
He's normally cool, calm and collected. What, have you rattled him?
I mean, I think so. He flung the table, didn't he? So, yeah. All he does is eat off tables. That's why he didn't want to face off with me without his jacket on.
Give us your prediction.
You know I'm knocking him out. Straight knockouts. Trust me.
Well, that's the prediction from David Adelaide. My goodness.
Get a quick one.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event tomorrow night, live worldwide on DAZN. It is scheduled for 10 rounds and will be for the vacant WBO International Heavyweight Championship. We will first welcome to the scale, coming to us from Zagreb, Croatia, a 2016 Olympic bronze medalist. He now has a professional record of 17 wins, just 1 defeat. 14 of those 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former IBF and WBC international champion, Filip El Animal Hrgovic. $250.6 for Filip El Animal Hrgovic. And now we welcome to the scale from Putney, London, England, a 2016 Olympic silver medalist, now with a professional record of 16 wins, 3 defeats, 15 of those 16 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBO interim world champion, Joe the Juggernaut Joyce. $275.1 for Joe the Juggernaut Joyce. Once again, ladies and gentlemen,
main event time, the big boys. I have to say, I was slightly distracted because just in front of us, it was kicking off between Adelaide's team and Jimmy TKV's team. But this is the main event, this is the big boys. And Joe Joyce coming in at 275, slightly below his 281. Again, it's ever so slightly, but maybe he's saying, okay, let's downsize a little bit. Let's see if we can get those speed in the legs.
Yeah, do you know what, though? I kind of agree with what Cole was saying about the extra weight maybe being a benefit to Joe Joyce, but look, he does need to be faster than he has been in his last couple of fights if he's going to be able to nullify the threat of Filip Hrgovic. And Filip Hrgovic, on the flip side, I think he really needs to find some form. He needs to grab this fight by the scruff of the neck. He needs to show us why he's nicknamed El Animal.
Yeah, Filip Hrgovic, we haven't seen since that Daniel Dubois defeat. And I think people need to remind themselves, he wasn't stopped, it was stopped on cuts.
Yeah.
He was doing some good work in that fight as well.
Especially early on. But Daniel kind of just broke his heart. But that's what Joel wanted to do. Joel wanted to break his heart, bring him in, drag him into the second half of the fight. But one problem Joe has is Filip Hrgovic is very fast, punches well in combinations. Very accurate as well. So Joe just needs to be a little bit careful going forward.
All right, let's hear from El Animal. He's on stage with Defsani.
Okay, I'm here with El Animal, Filip Hrgovic. And Filip, we haven't seen you in what feels like forever. You look like a man who's just happy to be back.
Of course, thanks for this opportunity. Glad to be here and looking forward for tomorrow and for a big KO.
A big KO. Listen, when people face off, when fighters face off, sometimes they say, I saw fear, I saw nerves. What did you see in the eyes of Joe Joyce?
We'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow, but I'm glad to be here. I feel great and can't wait for tomorrow night.
Do you feel like you've got a point to prove? A point to prove to the world?
Of course, it wasn't my best edition in the last fight, and I want to prove that I'm the best, that I can beat anyone, and I'm ready.
Best of luck to you, Filip Hrgovic, El Animal. Let's speak to the Juggernaut. Now, Joe Joyce, I've been at all your last few weigh-ins, and you've been a lot heavier than that. This looks like an in-shape and ready Joe Joyce.
Juggernaut 2.0, here I am, on the scales of muscle, bone and desire to get back to the top of the sport.
You're going to show that desire on DAZN?
Of course, this is why I'm here.
Listen, the weight is actually quite close to what you were against Joseph Parker. It's the same city that you beat Joseph Parker. Is it going to be the same sort of performance?
Yeah, I got that winning performer, and I'm coming, I'm here, so be Saturday night, don't miss it. It's going to be a great fight.
Best of luck to you, Joe Joyce. Let's hear it for the juggernaut, Joe Joyce, back tomorrow night.
I love it. I've never heard of that one before. Muscle, bone, and desire.
It's a winning trio.
It's a winning. It's a combination that could work. Honestly, it's a combination. He does sound good though. Sounds good, and obviously, look, he knows. He's been in big fights before. He knows this is the biggest one, right? Your next one's always your biggest one, but this one, I guess, has way more implications.
And do you know what it is as well? And we've already touched on this. He's only one win away. A win against Hrgovic, albeit he's coming in at short notice, if you like. He's back on track. You know, it's what you take from a defeat that defines you. Do you know what I mean? It's not the defeat itself. You can't feel sorry for yourself and feel hard done by and that's it. But a win here, and he's right back in the mix. And one thing's for sure, Joe Joyce has an exciting style, an unorthodox style. He does get caught, but he's in your face. He's trying to land big shots all the time. People want to see him because of that. So, yeah, if he can get the job done here, albeit, again, the same could be said for Filip Hrgovic. He looks dramatic and looks frightening in victory, then he's back on track.
Yeah, I think you're right, but exactly the same could be happening for Filip Hrgovic. Yeah. He has to win this fight. Both of them aren't the youngest guys in the world anymore. Specifically, Joe Joyce. The 3 defeats and 4 as well. It's the end of the road, whoever loses here, I would imagine. So much jeopardy on the line, but that's what makes it interesting, and that's why we're all excited about this top of the bill event.
Yeah, it's a great card, isn't it? Great cards coming up as well. DAZN truly is the global home of boxing.
DAZN, the undisputed global home of boxing, where the greatest fighters take center stage, with fights every week and over 185 a year. And now, the mighty Queensberry joins over 30 worldwide promoters to up the ante like never before, with the best of the best. The biggest nights. There's no limits to what's possible. Nobody brings you closer to the action. Because if the fight is on, it's on DAZN, the global home of boxing.
Look what we've got coming your way. I mean, I told you we're the global home of boxing, and that truly is global, isn't it? Garcia versus Romero tops an incredible card, which is going to take place Times Square. I still can't get how that works, but it's going to work. And then Canelo versus Skull, Canelo's first appearance on a Riyadh season card in Saudi Arabia. I mean, that's quite incredible, isn't it? That Times Square one's going to be sensational.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
it's carnage.
Can I get there, please? The powers that be. The powers that be. Can I come? Can I come?
Yeah, no, that's incredible. What event? We've seen loads of events, not just the fights themselves. You know, when we was here, in London, with the weigh-in at Trafalgar Square and all these great events that they've done, Leicester Square, and now to actually be showing a fight, holding a fight in Times Square. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've been to Times Square on any day, and it's the busiest little walkway area I've ever seen in my life. The idea of shutting it down and putting a ring in the middle still doesn't make sense.
Can you imagine the security presence and everything that's involved in just shutting the roads down and everything else? But everything that the Saudis try to do are things really outside the boxing. I mean, there was talk of Alcatraz and everything not that long ago, which may still happen. So we're seeing bigger and better all the time. Maybe not bigger and better, smaller and better, because you're going to have a few hundred people at Times Square, but I want to be there. I don't think I'm going to be, but I would love to be.
I like how everyone's trying to get there. We'll try. You want to go, don't you?
All day long.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going as well. If you need free presenters, we're happy to go for half the price. Trust me. All right, we'll see you tomorrow for the big one. Make sure you tune in. Big main event as well. Joe Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic, and the people's main event, David Adelaide versus Jimmy TKV. We'll see you on DAZN tomorrow.
Underdog. I just been bringing the fire. We're bringing the fire. I just been bringing the fire. And one of y'all, I'm too competitive. I like the narrative that I know best in the league.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready. The fighters are ready. The boxing world is ready.
So aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. With a corner knockdown. Still the undisputed
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.
There are legends of people with the gift of making music so true. It can pierce the veil between life and death.
Yes, I lied to you.
I don't believe in magic, ghosts, demons, just power.
We ain't gonna kill every last one of you.
Sinners, in cinemas April 18.
Rule number 1, never open the package.
But I never do. What's your mission, man?
Rule number 2, no names.
Ready?